Hi guys, welcome back to another craft with me video. Today we are going to be adding a journal into our little folio. This is the folio that we've been working on. If you haven't been keeping up with our little series, then this is what we're working on. This is called the Tim Holtz Pocket Folio. And I've been working on this to kind of give it life, I guess. I've had it in my stash and then I ended up buying another one. And so I thought, let's do something with it. So we are doing a sewing theme little folio. And so here I've already closed up this because this was open. I closed this up with glue. And so I made this a tuck spot here. And I've also closed up all of these little pockets that are on this side. Now on the opposite side here again, and I've already kind of locked this in. So I've glued this on together as well. And on the back side, it's just plain, no pockets. So I was thinking of putting the journal maybe on this side, kind of in the middle here. So I think that's what we're gonna do, but we need to put the journal together. So let's go through some stuff and see what I have. I have the plain tissue pattern paper. So I brought this out. Maybe we can use a couple pieces of that. I also brought out some coffee dyed doilies. And this is just double-sided paper that I got from Amazon. This I think I got from Temu. I just like the graph and then the color. And then again, some lightweight, this is like copy paper. Lightweight. It's like faux coffee dyed. It's not real. But I love that paper. And then I went through and I started, excuse me. I started going through and I started photocopying some of these pages. And so I thought we might be able to use some of these in this, but I think it's too thick to add kind of as is. I don't know. We'll see. We'll think about it because I could just cut it down. Maybe this one, or I think I'm using something similar to this. Maybe this one. That might be cute. Maybe add, I don't know, because of the white on the inside, but we'll see. Okay, let's go through. And I also have these, which I think are really cool, and I think I got these from Temu, and these are just a bunch of, this one says it's discontinued, so I don't know, but this just has a bunch of papers that I could add. It is white on the other side, but you know what, who cares? So let's look through, and I think I grabbed a few here already. See these? Like the sewing machine, the little store, like the general store, I think it is. These would be really pretty. So I got those, and then I also got these that are colorful. This one would be really pretty as the front, wouldn't it? The front page. I gotta check to see if this is the right size, but if not, we can cut it down. So we'll definitely do that one. That one's cute. Oh, definitely this one. Maybe just a few, not too many. And maybe this one, that would be good. The buttons is cute too. Darn it. All right, maybe we'll do her. Why is it so hard? Just to kind of, we'll do these three. Okay. Should we do one of the black and white? Maybe this one. All right, let's put these off to the side. If I can find these on Temu, I will link them down below. But I have already cut out this I'm going to use as the cover. I wanted this to be on the front, but it's on the wrong direction, so it's fine. It'll be on the back. So it's still cute. So little select pattern pieces. I thought that'd be cute. So we'll add that. So I've already cut this, I believe, down to size. Let's make sure that it's gonna fit pretty well right here in the middle. Nope, I'm gonna cut it down. I think I was measuring it to the cover, and the cover is too big. So I don't know what's wrong with my throat. Let's kind of cut this down maybe 1/2 inch. See if that's good. Perfect. Perfect. So this is, let me tell you the measurements. This is 5.5. No, let me do the whole thing. It's 8 1/4 by 5.5. 8 1/4 by 5.5. You fold it and it'll fit right perfect into this. So I think I'm going to keep this out. And then let's fold these up and see how any adjustments that we need to make on these. Let me get my bone folder. We'll have to trim those down. But we're just going to get this all set up. I think that these are beautiful. Could finally use them. But now I'm thinking that I want to do like a like a full-on journal, because this little pocket folio isn't going to be, I mean, I know that I could pack it up because it's the accordion, but I really want to do like a full-on one because I think it'd just be fun. Let's fold this in half. I think we'll just do one. Fold it right in half. And then we'll fold one of these. Now I'm thinking that with these, I can make a little pocket because it's like super thin. So I could probably bring a pocket up like that and make it into a little pocket. So we might have to just figure that out, but there's that. Let's see, how many pages? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do this one, 7, and then we'll do one of these, 8. So let's fold this. And see if I can get a piece of this. I think it'd just be fun. If I can get a piece where I could actually have that letter, that punched out letter showing, that would be amazing. I don't want to have to unfold all of these pieces, but I really want to get a good one. Ooh, maybe this one. With the L. Or we could do a little piece like this and put this little piece in this way and then just cut this. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, let me throw this on the floor and I'll figure that out later, but I think this would work perfect. This little piece here. So let's see. I just want to kind of get this in. This could be like right in the center or something. Yeah. I think I'm going to cut it right down that crease. If I could find my scissors. Where are my big scissors at? I don't know where my big scissors are. Of course. Let's just get this. I'm just going to cut this down this way. Okay, now we need to figure out the position. So maybe every other one will have one of these. So this for sure I want in the front. Then I could do this one. And then, I shouldn't have closed it. And then we could do this. And then we could do this way. And then this. 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 See if it's not too thick. This, and then this way. No, not too bad. Let's just kind of get everything up to the top here. Make sure we have everything here at the top. So let me do a quick flip through. I think we do. Except for this. I don't want this to be on the top. I want this to be towards the middle. And I think we've got it together. I'm just going to make sure I have everything snug down. Okay. Now I need a paper clip, some type of clip. Let's see. Sorry, I should have had one already. I'll just get a couple of these. And then let's put this more over here. Get a ruler. My little metal ruler here. And then we can just kind of trim that down. Get my craft knife. Oops. Come on. What's happening here? I need this little piece to go. All right. And then this one I said that I wanted to put up. I guess we're not going to be able to because I don't want to deal with it. Duh. I know what people are saying. You know, there's times like this and I hear you talking to me saying, fold it up now. Let me take this out. Fold this up now. Where is, I think about here. And then fold it back. Yeah, we should be okay. So let's put this back in. Okay, and then let's do it this way. Cut this down this way. Oh, I did not do that right. What was I going with? I think I was going with the bottom of that paper. I didn't do it all the way. I did the wrong guide, sorry. Come on. There it is. Phew. Okay, I think we're good. There's just a little bit here that I'm not 100% happy with. Let me see if I can just clean it up just a little bit. Come on. Yeah, right there. I feel like needs to be cleaned up. All right, good enough. Okay, so here it is. And then we have our little piece in there. Yep, and then with our pocket there. Okay, I think we're good. All right. Let me clean this up and then we will start putting it into our folio. Okay, so this is what I decided to do. I'm going to just sew the journal on its own, and then we're going to attach it with some of the elastic. So I think it'd be easier only because there's so many layers here. And so just so that I'm not struggling, you're not struggling, and if you're a professional at this, then by all means do that. I'm just looking for, you know, the easier alternative just to make it better for all of us all the way around. I'm going to pin this together just to make sure that I have all of the pieces in the right spot. I'm going to do that on both sides because this is my middle. And then I'm just going to eyeball the center about here, push this through, and then I'm going to do it here because I want to make sure that I have this piece because it's smaller. So I'm going to have my stitching a little bit closer and about here. Carefully sticking that through all the way. And then I have my needle. This is just a huge upholstery needle that I like to use because it's easier for me to handle, and the eye part is a lot bigger. And so this is the On Accord 0.5 millimeter waxed Brazilian cord. I got this from Hobby Lobby. So let's go ahead and put that through the middle. This is just how I do it. If you have another way of doing it, then that's fine too. I'm going to go up to the top, making sure I go through the right holes here. Pull that through carefully because the tissue paper is very fragile. And then we're going to go back through the middle, and I'm going to push this over to the side and go through the middle again. And then going through the bottom. And I'm just going to bring that through here. And we are ready to tie it off. So let's make sure that we have this nice and tight. And the good thing about this wax cord is that once you put it in a position, it's not going anywhere. And I'm just going to double knot that, trim off these pieces here. And here, my friends, is our little journal. Now we're going to put it, so this is the front. And because we have all these pockets here, I kind of didn't want to put it there. I'm thinking, let's add it to the back. And then add just the piece here. So let's leave this and then see. This is just some thin, I don't know. I don't even know where I got it. I think I got it from Temu. But we just want to put this way, right through the middle, and then through the back part here is where we're going to tie it off. We want it tight because we don't want it to kind of just fall out. So I do want to make it a little bit tight. So I don't want to waste too much of my elastic here, so I don't want to go too much. So let's see if I just tie this off. Put that right in the middle here. I think if I tie it, it should be okay. Just tie it in a knot. Trying to keep it. Yeah. Let's just double knot it just for, I hope it's not too loose. I really haven't done something like this in a while, so. But I think it should work. Right? See, you can bulk this up as much as you want because of the accordion, which is good because I have a lot of things that I want to put in here. But there it is. Not bad. So, of course, this is the front, and here is the back along with, you could ink this. I might just add like little fun stuff or something. I don't know yet. But I did add a little piece of this lace just to kind of add some type of fabric or something in it. So let's kind of flip through. So here's the front cover. Here is our first image. Isn't she beautiful? Then we have our piece of lace, our graph paper, the fabrics, our double-sided faux coffee paper, our little doily, our buttons, another faux coffee dyed, but this one we made into a pocket, remember? And then here is this one, and then we have our pattern paper here, and then here is the back images of those same papers. We can close these in a minute. back side of that, and then we have our threads here. Our sewing machine, the little piece of lace, another sewing machine, and the back. Not bad. I think it's really cute. Let's go ahead and close off these here. So let me get my glue, if I could find it. Here it is. And glue these shut. Come on. Of course, I thought I unplugged it. And put this here. Okay. Just a light line of glue should do the trick. Let's do this way so I know how far I'm going. Okay. Not bad. There it is. And we do have a couple things that we need to add in. This being one of them from our project. So we've got a couple things that are going to be going in. So I think next week is probably going to be our last week, because I think I'm just going to be collecting stuff throughout the week so that we can finish it up and decorate it. So I'll just have a bunch of things ready to go. I do have some of these pieces, let me show you, that I've already printed. So here are more pieces. We can add a few things. You know what? Let's do that. We have time. Let's add a few things to our the inside of our journal. These are little fabric not fabric, but pattern pieces that that I printed, I copied, and I cut out. So now they look like little mini fabric pieces. This was actually a piece on an actual, it's like embroidery, like an embroidery pattern. So I thought that was fun. Let's do that. We have time. Let's go through and see what we could, how we could decorate our little journal here. So we definitely need something here in the front. So we can put maybe this little thing and add it as like a side tuck. I could do it like this. It's not tall enough. Let's see if I have something taller that I could use. Maybe this one. Just cut that straight here, end it there. Let's do that. Let's even this one out. Let's move these things out of the way so I have more room to work with here. So we're going to even this out about here, I think. Okay. And then maybe cut it right above this one. And that could be a little side tuck. Let me ink this. I think I want to ink it. We're going to do gathered twigs for this. I'm not going to go around. I'll probably do that later off camera, but at least this part. We can add this here. So let's put glue here. and add this right here. You know what? Let's take this out. We don't need to have this right now. We'll put it back in once we're done. Okay. So we have that little side tuck there. Cute. I think just on the pages that are blank, right? We can do this as a little pocket. Maybe just the sides here and leave all of the rest. That would be really cute. Should I do it this way? No, I like it this way. It could be maybe a top corner tuck like this. I have the smaller one. Trying to see how far up I need to go in order for it to be right at that edge. No, I think this will work better here. So let's see if I can just cut this to where, let's do it this way, to where it's even. Let's see if this will work. I'm gonna try to cut just a tiny bit. Nope, I cut it the wrong direction. Actually, it helped, didn't it? Let's see. I'm gonna cut it about here. Ugh, I don't know. We'll see. I should just... I'm so dumb. I could just glue this side and then cut the other side. Instead of trying to figure out and then messing it up, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this here. And I don't care if that little piece is there. And then we'll just trim this on this side. And then we'll just glue this part down. There, now we have a little top tuck here. We can make this into a tag. Let me get my tag punch. Let's round off these corners. Cute, right? I do want to add a little ribbon. Just a little piece. What could we add? Let's add a piece of this pink. To kind of not give it too much bulk, I think I'm just going to staple it in. I'll use my little stapler. So let's put it this way. Let's see if I could do it this way. I don't know if I'll be able to. Come on, we could do it. Don't get the bottom. There. Oh, I covered her face. It's okay. It still works. Let's trim these down just a tiny bit more. And there we have our little, put this down like this, a little tag. Okay, then on here, we could just add this lovely lady. Could we add her as a tuck? Just glue around this part, and it'll still be like a little tuck here. Yeah, we're just gonna glue right along her arm here and down here, and we're gonna use her as a tuck. Luckily she was printed on cardstock, so this will work. And we could add stuff behind her. Cute, right? Okay. Let's keep her going. How about this? Here, let's do this little pocket thing that we were saying. No, I kind of want to do it this way. We could do this one. Or belly band. This would probably be better as a belly band. Let's trim this off because it's not even. Okay, that's better. And then we'll cut about here. Let me mark it. About there. Let's ink the edges of this. Okay, so we have our little belly band here now. See that? Okay. Here we can add any little thing here. Ooh, we should add this kind of as a tuck or another belly band. Let's do this more over here. Another little belly band here. That would look really cute. All right. Just trimming just a tiny bit. And then we'll add this here. Just to the edges, we're gonna glue. Add this right here. Very nice. Okay. Now going back, let's see where we're at. Is it this one? Yeah, I think so. We can do this as a bottom. Oh, I kind of don't want to. I really like both images here. Like this and then this. Bed jacket. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut it down because either way, if I cut it in half, it's going to be too short. If I cut it, let's do it this way. Wait. trying to get this even. I think this is the right side. Trying to get this somewhat even. Okay, much better. And then I think I have to cut right here. Yep, perfect. So then let's ink around this and add this as a pocket. I feel like my glue is starting to stick again. You can tell on this bottom here, I tried to cut it out as if it was the actual pattern paper. I just thought that the instructions, because that's how it looked. So I cut along that. I thought that was fun. All right, that's good for there. Now let's do something on this side. Let's see what else I have. I do have this. This is really cute. I might have to trim that down. But we could make this another little side tuck pocket. Let's just even this out a little bit. Let's do it here. And do that here. So again, just down this side and the bottom. And we'll add that here. Okay, good. So we have another little tuck spot there. I wasn't sure what I was going to use with these little pieces that I ended up printing, but I'm glad that I did because these are so nice. This would be pretty as what though? Another pocket, maybe cut it, kind of even it out, maybe this one. That's pretty that it goes like this. I could do a side or this way. Maybe make it go round like that. So if I kind of cut it this, like this, kind of round it out, I think that would be cute. And then I could just trim off the bottom. So let's do that with my scissors. Round this off. And then we can trim the rest of it off. Let's go through this. So I'm going to glue from here and here. I'm going to glue the page. So let's glue this. Come on. Just along those two edges, and then we can trim this down. Okay. And now we can go back and cut this. I could have done this a little bit better. And then this way. And there is our little side pocket. I love that. And we got our belly band there. And I think we just need 2 more. So let's see what else we have. We could do another little pocket here. Maybe I'm just going to cut down this line here. It doesn't have to be a perfect pocket. I think I'm just going to glue here and maybe this little bit here. So if I wanted to add something all the way down, it will go. It doesn't matter. Let me just ink around this. And so again, I'm just going to glue down this side and this little bit here. And put this as far down as I can. And there is our little pocket. Okay. And last one. I really love this little girl. I thought, you know what? I thought, where is it? I thought I cut out another little piece. It's gotta be somewhere. Hold on. It was another little lady that I cut out. Actually, it was a few little ladies. Where are they? Ha, here they are. I knew I had them. See, look at this. I think we're gonna put her on this inside right here. This is the back. So we could put her again, doing the same thing. And so she can be a tuck spot. Perfect, because she's kind of like straight edged on that side. So let's just kind of get rid of the little bit of white that we have here. And then I'm just going to do the glue on here and there. So this would be a pretty little tuck spot on the inside cover. And is that it? Are we done? We are done, my friends. I could put this somewhere because she's cute. Just a little decoration. She's supposed to be hanging on to a curtain. Maybe on one of the pockets. Let's do that. We're just going to add her just kind of as a little decorative thing to the pocket. Add her over here in the corner. Love it. Okay. And then I think to this other pocket, let's cut her out. So let's do a quick little fussy cut of her because I don't have any more ladies that I cut out. So let's fussy cut her out really quick. Doesn't have to be exactly. Trying not to take too long, but I don't want it to look super messy either, so giving her a little bit of a border. The little piece was getting on my nerves. And we're almost done. There she is. Okay. Let's ink around the edges here. And then we can add her here. Yeah, she's cute. All right, I think, my friends, we are done. I think I still want to add that. Luckily, she fits perfect here. Maybe we could add could cut that off. I didn't print the McCall sign very well, so we are going, well, actually, it's not going to fit in here. And of course, I can't find my long scissors, so we are going to just roughly cut this. And see, we're going to cut it here. We're going to put this here, printed pattern with transfer. Add that here. And then add this one right underneath it. And there is it. I think that's good. So now we have our little pockets. Let's go through again. So here is our front cover. Then we have our little thing here. Then here we have our little side, our tuck on the top with our tag. Then here we have a little side tuck. We could add this, put this as a tag and put that in. That would look really pretty, wouldn't it? Let's cut this into a tag. I need it somewhat straight to kind of work with. Okay, so that's going to be our guide here. Then we'll cut this down there. And then make sure this is even. I could cut it into a tag this way. Let's do like this. It's good enough. Then using my little corner punch here to do our tag, and then around the bottom edges. Let's move this. Ink around here. And then let's do purple on this one. Now this we're going to staple crisscross. I'll put this right in the middle. Okay, and then I'm just going to get my pliers and press those down. So that they're not sticking out. And there we go. Is this too long? Yeah. And there we have our little tag. Okay, we need something in here. What is this? We can make this into a tag too. That's going to be an easy one. Okay, let's do this green. Where's the top to this? Actually, I think I want to do a piece of this better. Let's just cut with our slot punch. Hopefully it won't add too much bulk, but let's do the slot punch better. And I think about there's good. So we'll just add this through here. Open up this, pull this through carefully. I kind of do one at a time and holding this spot here so we don't rip anything. And there is this tag. We have this little pocket. We'll just add this little thing here. We have another little pocket here. I'm running out of things, so we'll figure all of that out. Yeah, I'm running out of things, so we'll have to come back to that to put in here. But that is it, guys. Okay, quick again. Flip through. Here's this. We have our little pattern, the cover, and then we have a little tag here, and then we have a little tuck spot here, and then we have our belly band with another little tag here. We have a pocket here that we just folded up, easy peasy, and then we have another pocket here, our pattern paper, another side pocket there, side pocket there, belly band here, another little pocket there, and a little side tuck here. Now let's put this back into, this might be a chunky monkey, but that's going to be okay. I think it's going to look really cool. And we've got room to grow with this one, so I think we're in good shape. But there it is. So far, so good. That's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. And I will see you next week with more videos. Have a great weekend. Be safe, and I'll see you then. Bye, guys.